Well, hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel. It's Sean from Sean K Beauty, and this is Sean K's Beauty Bar, where we grab from the bar and discuss all things beauty. So a very warm welcome to all of you, to anyone who is new. Hello, hi, my name is Sean. My background is microbiology and biochemistry. I bring it to your questions. We have been doing an acne series for the past, 2 weeks, guys? We've been doing an acne series, and I've been working with a lot of you outside of the YouTube platform, going through your skincare routines for morning and night and really seeing what works best. Some of you are having some adverse reactions to a lot of products that you have in your boudoir. And you're using them, and we're having to figure out which product is the culprit, right? So here's one of the first things I want to get at before we jump into this video. When you have a lot of skincare products that you're using, and one of them is the culprit, it's very hard to narrow it down, because what you're going to have to do is start pulling products one by one out of your routine. Give yourself about a week to see if there's any change. And then if you do see that there is a change where your skin is getting better when you've taken out that one particular product, then you know that that product is off the beaten path for you. So that's what I've been doing with a lot of you. And thankfully, you all have seen remarkable results when we do that solution routine that way. But that's what happens when we have way too many products in our skincare routine. Listen, skincare is a beautiful thing, my friends. We don't need to use a lot of skincare products, and that's what I've constantly been saying. Enjoy the process of, using your skincare, but we want to make sure that we're using skincare that is simple and effective. Now, most of the time, my first advice is to use skincare products within a line as much as you can, because scientists are in a lab curating products to synergistically work together. So that's just my tidbit there. pH balanced products I'm going to highly recommend that your way. And I know that is kind of outside of the scope of the acne series, but it's going to help that skin barrier to be healthy before you start incorporating your acids and everything else in to deal with concerns that you have. Does that make sense? So even if let's say you want to try a glycolic acid because you want to retexturize the skin, at least be in the routine of using pH balanced products between a 4.5 and a 6, so that you have a healthy skin's barrier before you start bringing in glycolic acids and all these other products into your routine. So that's the first thing I would say. Let that always be constant, that the products, the cleansers, the moisturizers, the toners that you're using is pH balanced. All right, so now this video is about answering your questions, the most common questions that are asked about your BHAs and your AHAs. And I want to target that with you because a lot of you have been asking me pretty much the same questions. So I really wanted to bring that on this platform today. All right, so hopefully the sun is not going down on me. I'm trying to do this video before I go running, and it seems like it's starting to go into dawn. But the next question is about the face becoming more shiny when you're using your BHA, and then you're going in and you're using an oil as your moisturizer. So here's the thing with that. When you think about a BHA, what they are, what I mentioned in a previous video, I'll try to find that so I can put the card right here. When you're talking about BHA, which is salicylic acid, namely, and mandelic, I've mentioned all of those, like I said, in a previous video. What they are doing, especially salicylic acid, is that it is a molecule that is fat soluble. Okay, so that's going to go into the skin, and it is going to dissolve all of that has been clogging the pore including oil, your sebum, and it's bringing that to the surface. So what that is doing is unclogging the pores. So what ends up happening is when you are using a BHA to get rid of oil from under the surface and then going in with an oil as a moisturizer on top, you're pretty much going to have even more of an oily skin type because your BHA is pulling out oil and then you're putting on oil. So it's a contradiction there as well. So this is why I really want to break things down in its simplest form, because the one thing I want my friends on here to know is we want to look at what each of these products are going to do for us. If two products are doing the exact same thing, then you don't need to use both those products. Just use one. Your face will be fine. Again, the microbiomes of the face, the skin's barrier really cares about being healthy so that you can have that radiant, glowing skin. It does not care to be overworked and over-processed. The mantle does not like a lot of products. So I really want to drive this home. We don't need to have 20 and 30 different products in our skincare routine, because if we can simplify it and just have pH balanced products and then that one or two product ingredients that are going to work for a concern that we have, you are going to be golden. Less is more. That's not just a saying. That is actually truth. So I just wanted to put that out there. All right, let's tackle your next question. Okay, friends, so this question is the difference between an AHA and a retinol. Now, before I go into answering this question, please let me put this disclaimer out there, and you all know that I am not a huge proponent of retinol. Never used it and never will. Now, here's the thing. If you're pro retinol, please do not come for me, but right now I'm dealing with a lot of women who have experienced the adverse reactions of retinol. Retinol, as we all know, is a synthetic derivative of vitamin A, right? And I do feel like you can get your vitamin A from the foods that you eat to still give you the results without irritation and the aggressiveness of a retinol. Retinol can work for you, but it can also work against you. Irritation, dryness of the skin, deep wrinkles happening, so giving you the opposite of what you're trying to achieve when you use a retinol. And right now I'm working with, I think, 6 ladies outside of the YouTube platform to really get them to heal their skin from using a retinol and dealing with retinol's damage. And the one question I'm always asked is, what is a alternative then? An alternative to retinol is bakuchiol. A lot of people don't talk about it, but some people have on this YouTube platform. It's just that retinol has become such the golden standard that everybody is pushing retinols out there. And just because there are a lot of brands that are using a lot of retinols in their products, they're jumping on the bandwagon because if they see that the demand is high for it, they want in on that money. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you all. It's not because they don't know what this thing is going to do to your skin and what you're going to experience. I'm literally dealing with women who are, experiencing severe burning because of this and deep wrinkles because of this. So that's all I'm going to say to that. And I have a video on it. If you want to see my in-depth review and insight on retinol, definitely I implore you to check that out. So let's jump into the differences now that I've taken that out the way, put my disclaimer out there. Well, let's talk about where they're the same first. I'm kind of backtracking. Where they're the same is that they are both going to resurface the skin, right? They both bring about somewhat of a sloughing off and the minimizing of fine lines and wrinkles. I mentioned in another video, if you're going to deal with deep wrinkles, you're going to have to see a dermatologist, and they will determine whether or not you need fillers, if you need a laser treatment, or if you're going to need a retinol. However, retinol really is to help minimize the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and it does the same as that glycolic acid. Here's where they are different. One speaks to the skin cells, which is retinol, and the other one deals with the lipid barrier on the skin, which is your AHA. So your AHA is going to go in, it is going to dissolve the lipid barrier and then resurface the skin and show you this, give you this youthful, radiant look to the skin. So that's that with that. What is happening with the retinol is retinol goes in, speaks to the skin cells, make them do that cellular turnover, promotes collagen production, and also it is one that is going to protect fibroblasts. Fibroblasts are the cells that you find within connective tissue that really promotes healing in animals, which we are considered animals, mammals, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we're moving on to the next question. All right, friends, so here is the next question, and that is, how do I start with my glycolic acid? Now, I mentioned this in a previous video, actually the one that I just did on Monday. We don't want to go ham with using glycolic acid, and I mean back to back to back. I'm sorry, my British is kicking in with the word ham, but you don't want to go ham with using so much acids on a daily basis. You really want to work your way up into this because it is an acid, right? So I would say month to month and then going into the daily use. With that being said, I would also implore you to go into a lower concentration, less than 10%, than going into anything higher than that. In fact, it is recommended that if your glycolic acid is higher than 10%, it should not be used at home. So there you go. I'm giving you the threshold here. Again, I want you to be careful with using products in your home so that you are not trying to experiment with so much products and then your face starts freaking out. I think, you know, when we get in relationships, let's just give an analogy here. When we get into a relationship, we want to try to, when we first meet this person, we want to try to get to know them a little bit. We don't just go all in. You know, we work our way into that relationship. If the person is too aggressive, what do? We run away from that person if they're too aggressive. So think about the reaction you would give to somebody who is aggressive, and think about your skin dealing with that same sort of scenario. Anything too aggressive is going to cause the skin to freak out and really show you that it's freaking out. You have totally shocked me because I don't want all of this strong stuff on me this quick and this constant. So kind of work your way into it. Love, and I always say this, embrace the skin you're in. Love the journey of it. I know we all want so badly to, you know, alleviate these issues really fast. We want the quickest way. And the skin is such a beautiful organ in that it will heal itself if we give it time to. And do you know the body is able to do that too if you allow it? The skin is the same way. And remember, everyone, the skin is your protection from all of the adverse situations that are happening in the environment, meaning the sun, the free radicals out there, the pollutants. It is really trying to protect you. So it's your goal to protect it. Okay, you be good to your skin is going to be good to you. And so that comes with gleaning information that's going to be useful so that your steps in your skincare routine are thought out, as opposed to just some chaotic random routine that you're seeing people do on the YouTube channel from day to day. And remember too, a lot of these influencers who are probably not certified are getting paid from a lot of these brands to promote all of these products your way. So now it's your turn to do your due diligence to weigh out whether or not these products are going to be beneficial to you or not. And that's the reason why I wanted to create this platform, because I want to give you context to what you really need versus what you don't need so that you can make your best informed decision before going in and buying product. So that's that with that. Let's tackle this last question and then we'll be done for the day, because you guys know I'm not a huge advocate of giving a lot of information in videos. I feel like the smaller the nugget and the most simplified way of explaining it, you're going to retain this knowledge and carry it with you, as opposed to me giving you long exacerbated videos that has so much information, it's overwhelming and you retain nothing. So let's move on into this last question and then we'll wrap it up for the day. All right, friends, so this last question is, can I use vitamin C along with my AHA, my glycolic acid or my lactic acid? And the answer to that is no. It's because if you're dealing with actives, which vitamin C is, and so is your acids, what's going to happen is destabilization of the pH. So it's going to render that vitamin C useless before it even has a chance to do anything. So my advice, because vitamin C is very unstable, right? We definitely don't want to layer on acids. So we don't want to use vitamin C with glycolic acid, with lactic acid. We want to stay away from that. I know a lot of people want to, based off the questions that I've been getting, want to use glycolic acid, and that's why I'm really talking to glycolic acid a lot in this video. But definitely don't mix the two. It's just not going to be it's not going to be useful to you, and you may experience hypersensitivity because you've done that. So again, we don't want to be lab rats in our bathrooms messing around with a lot of actives on the skin. And in fact, you guys know I've done a video on that where I'm not a huge proponent of, you know, layering on actives, especially when you just don't know what the absorption rates are. You don't know the pHs of these. You don't know how one counteracts the other. It's just like taking a lot of vitamins. There is contradictions that happen with that as well. One vitamin may, you know, counteract the other. So we want to be very, like I said, cautious and conscious about what we're purchasing and what we're doing. So hopefully you all found this video helpful. Again, leave your questions down below. I welcome them. If you prefer me to do a series of Q&As, let me know that too. I'll be happy to do that and target 5 or more questions in a video in a timely fashion, so that a lot of the frequently asked questions can be targeted in one video. I love you all so much. Be kind to yourselves and good to one another. I'm out of here. I'm going to go running, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.